Welcome to the Literally First Class podcast, where I will teach you how to overcome anxiety and achieve somatic success. I'm your host, Keri Ford. I'm a somatic success and holistic life coach here to bring humor, insight, and wisdom to the modern day woman that wants to feel alive in her daily life. You ready? Come on, I saved you a seat in first class. Self-care. What is it, and how can we redefine it? Recently, we had put together a video, my team and I, around how you can have somatic success, which is essentially having the external success that you desire and not having to give up feeling good, right? You can have both. You can feel good and fulfilled and happy and this element of calm and peace, while also having the external success. And so it was interesting though, because a lot of the DMs that we were flooded with were around women sharing with me how they defined self-care, which was, I'm not exercising, I'm not eating well, I don't feel beautiful anymore, I'm not taking, the proper supplements. And they're sharing with me all these ways that in the past, even, I might have defined self-care. And that is self-care, right? Prioritizing your health, absolutely. And it is also slowing the fuck down. What if self-care was also learning how to be fully present with yourself and those that you love so that you can be in the moment that you're in, so that you can feel connected to yourself, so that you can feel in control of your day, so that you can have this glorified and somewhat ethereal work-life balance that most people allude to. And I even hesitate to use that because work-life balance, like what does that mean? It's a constant moving target, if you will, because first of all, everyone's balance is different based on their specific nervous system and what they can actually handle, their nervous system's window of tolerance, because someone who has the same level of commitment, responsibility, or whatever, right? They might go to max capacity sooner than somebody else who is expanded in their window of tolerance. And I liken this to a cup, right? You can only put so much into the cup, but people can have different size cups, right? Which means that some people can handle more than others without being maxed out, if that makes sense, without going into overwhelm, burnout, being tired. And so it really depends on the season you're in too. Like, did you just have a baby? Are you full-time in school while also having a full-time career? Are you in a transition? Did you just experience a crazy loss in your life with someone passing away and you're in a season of grief? I mean, these are big life changes. Are you going through a divorce? These are seasons. And so depending on the season you're in, your current commitment, your specific nervous system, the size of your cup, your window of tolerance, what the fuck is work-life balance? It's totally subjective. So work-life balance, as I define it, is how you get to maintain doing what you're doing, if you want to continue doing it, and it feel good. Your ability to slow down and be present with what is. To know that the magic is in the everyday. What was I watching the other day? I watched the movie with Tom Hanks. Have you guys seen this movie? A Man Named Otto was the name of the movie. And I won't give away the whole movie, but essentially it's a man that has lost a loved one. And the whole movie, he's trying to escape his life. And he realizes that living is showing up for the small daily things, and that is the magic of aliveness. And I want to tell you that is the magic of aliveness. It's seeing your kids laugh. It's listening to your partner's story and really hearing it. It's slowing down because you said you want Fridays off. It's upholding your boundaries and maintaining what I call calendar integrity when you say that you're not available on weekends and you don't take calls. That is self-care. Because that, I think, is one of the ultimate expressions of self-love. And in many ways, it's an absolute, it's a revolution, but it's almost a rebellion. So I went through a period of time actually where I didn't watch TV for 3 years. And I felt so good. I really was mindful about what I was consuming, even down to the music I listened to, the lyrics that I was programming into my body, every energy that I was near. And when I actually started to watch TV again, and this was kind of crazy because Jake and I started dating, and then we started watching Game of Thrones. And my body was like, this is so upsetting. It was like, it almost hurt to watch. I mean, that's an incredible show, but it almost hurt to watch because it was so gory and it was so violent. And I went from not consuming that kind of content and from not doing that to watching that. It was just like my body was very triggered at the time. Anyway, going back to self-care and the aliveness. So it's not just a revolution, it's a rebellion, right? It's rebellious to slow down now because the world pushes us and pulls us. And I see it with my kids. I see it in school. I mean, we get a measly 9 weeks off for summer, and then they're back at the grind. In fact, I asked the teachers last year, what kind of mindfulness practices do you have in the classroom? And it's to no fault of their own, but they didn't really even know what the fuck I was asking. One of them told me, we ring a bell for transition. I'm like, that's kind of like telling a dog it's mealtime. You know, you ring a bell and it's more about obedience than it is mindfulness. Oh, here I am. Here is my body. I am connected to nature, right? And so it's a rebellion now to be connected to yourself. It's abnormal to slow down. It is abnormal to not watch TV. It's weird to clear off and simplify life. But you're also seeing this desire and movement, and you'll see it on social media even, kind of ironic, right? But homesteading, the plot of land where you're growing your own food, the desire to live more with minimalism and simplifying your closet. Listen, if you feel like your life is constantly in chaos and you are always putting fires out and you are scattered and overwhelmed and your energy is pulled in a million directions and it's like you're always late, you're always behind, look at what you're managing. If you want to simplify your life, minimize what you manage. So that means getting rid of more material things. I am not necessarily about having more things. I am about having the things that I do own and have be really high vibe and really quality and just beautifully made. Like, art is luxury, and there's something beautiful in my body that happens when I look at the two paintings that are on the opposite side of my fireplace. And I know that a man, I forget what country he was in, painted those. That's only those prints exist by this one man. And they're in my living room. And I got to empower this artist. And like that moment, that stroke of paint will never happen again. It only exists on my canvases. I love that. That's beautiful. So the things I own, I make sure they bring me joy and that I feel something about them because the environment I'm in matters. The things I listen to matter. The things I read matter. I went through a period of time where I literally unfollowed everyone on Instagram last year. It was like the great purge. I had to unbecome everything in order to come full circle and to carefully choose who I was following back. And I'll be honest, sometimes there's people I follow and I'll mute them because I'm like, I want to support them. I want to be connected. I want to pour into the relationship currency, but I don't want to consume. I want to create. And I make sure that I am aware of minimizing what I manage. Because for me, that feels loving. That is self-care too. So I want to expand upon what our definition and description of self-care really is. Yes, absolutely. It's getting enough sleep. It's getting enough water, staying hydrated. It's staying nourished throughout the day, making sure we listen to our hunger cues and eating nourishing, healthy foods, right? It's about exercising and movement. Yes, it's all those things. It's about meditating. But those are the baseline, in my opinion. Beyond that, expanding upon that, it's slowing down. It's saying, no, I'm not going to buy into how everybody else is doing things. Just because it's normalized doesn't mean it has to be your normal. The question I want you to ask yourself, and I tell my clients all the time when they say, well, what's normal? Or is this normal? Is this healthy? Is this healthy for me? What feels healthy for me? It doesn't mean you're weak or that you can't handle a lot. It means the expectations are unrealistic. I don't know that we were ever meant to have 18 different inboxes and all this social media. I've got a team of people that help me manage that because how do I do it all? I don't want to, and I don't do it because I can't. I won't be able to do it really well. And I also don't want to do all of that. So I have someone that manages my LinkedIn. A lot of the time it's me being pitched, to be honest. We have 4 email addresses, 5 or 6 different social media platforms. And I don't do it all because I know I can't. And I also don't want to. I'm very clear on that. I also had a potential client say, hey, I'd love to chat with you about working together. I want to learn all about your programs, but I can't do until, I think she said 5:30 or 6 o'clock after work. And I was like, hey, we operate like a business as well. And so for that reason, we also keep things within business hours. I'm not going to work at night. I'm not going to work on the weekend unless I'm in flow and inspired, of course, but I don't want that life. So I minimize what I manage. And that's how I protect my energy. And that is the revolution and the rebellion of self-care and self-love. So while you're listening to this podcast, if you notice that you have other things that feel you can expound upon in terms of how you define self-care and self-love, what would you add to that? What would you define as self-care? How would self-care really look in your life if you were truly caring about yourself? Beyond exercise, movement, that's the same thing. Exercise, movement, nourishment, sleep, water. Like, again, those are basic needs. You need those to survive. So beyond that, what does really caring about yourself look like? And then what does it feel like? Then be available for nothing else. And there's going to be a lot of people that might trigger. Well, that sounds privileged, Keri, or that's not realistic for me. Okay, maybe it's not in this season, at least right now. But is there someone you can ask for support? Is there someone you can delegate things to? Is there something you said yes to, but you really wanted to say no to? And I would challenge you on that. Really, really, truly. Are any of those actually, if you were being honest, true? So, self-care. What is it to you? And what does it look like and feel like for you in your life and career? Let me know. Shoot me a DM if this inspired you. You can also use the hashtag #FirstClassMoves or literally first class. You can tag us. Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you on the next episode.
I hope you enjoyed your flight, and I'll see you on board again soon.
Seriously, though, thanks for listening. If you're ready to take this work deeper and upgrade your mind, I want to invite you to join us inside my Millionaire Mindset program. This is where you'll start using my guided meditations to help you overcome anxiety and experience even more abundance. When you join, you'll have access to my entire audio library. Head over to elevatewithkeri.com and we'll see you inside.